Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So today's will be the last lecture for chapter 12, study of sound. So we have studied about the different definitions of sound, then about echo, reverberation, okay, and sonography. Then today the last topic in the chapter is about the functioning of human ear. Basically, you have to study the different components of ear. Ear is divided into three parts: outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. The outer ear consists of the part which we can see from outside, that is the pinna. Pinna enters into the auditory canal. There is a canal which is called as auditory canal. Middle ear consists of tympanum, also called as eardrum. Inner ear consists of three bones which are present, which are connected to tympanum, cochlea, and the auditory nerve. So basically it starts with pinna and reaches till auditory nerve. What starts with pinna? The sound which is falling on our ears. The sound travels in the form of vibrations. Okay. Now this structure, okay, this part is called as pinna. Okay, this part is called as pinna. This pinna leads into a canal which is called as auditory canal. It leads into a canal which is called as auditory canal. The sound which is falling on the pinna, it is in the form of vibrations. Those vibrations will pass through the auditory canal. It will pass through the auditory canal and fall on a membrane. Okay, a membrane like this, which is called as eardrum or tympanum. Okay, when it falls on the eardrum, when the compression falls, it will bend like this. Okay, and when the rarefaction falls, it will become straight. Okay, like that continuously, compression, rarefaction, compression, rarefaction, compression, rarefaction, due to which the tympanum starts vibrating. Okay, so the vibrations are passed on to the eardrum. From the eardrum, the vibrations are passed on to the three bones. It is the three bones which is part of the inner ear. The inner ear passed on the vibration to cochlea. Okay, cochlea is a structure. If you straighten the cochlea, you may see there is a fluid inside. There is a fluid inside this cochlea, and there are some cells on the surface of cochlea. Okay, there are some cells on the surface of cochlea. The fluid inside the cochlea starts vibrating when these bones, the three bones, pass on the vibrations to cochlea. Okay, when the fluid inside starts vibrating, the cells which are present on the walls of the cochlea, it converts them into messages. Okay, it is converted into messages, and those messages, okay, those messages are produced inside the cochlea. Those messages are passed on to auditory nerve. This is auditory nerve. This auditory nerve goes to the brain. Okay, so auditory nerve goes to brain and the sound is interpreted. I repeat, the three parts of ear, that is outer ear, middle ear, inner ear. Outer ear consists of pinna and auditory canal. Middle ear consists of tympanum or eardrum. Inner ear consists of three bones: cochlea, auditory nerve. The sound which is coming from a source is collected by the pinna. From the pinna, it is entering into the canal which is called as auditory canal. The vibrations passes through the auditory canal in the form of compressions and rarefactions. It falls on the tympanum or eardrum. The eardrum starts vibrating. Those vibrations are passed on to the three bones of the inner ear. These are the smallest bones in our body. These bones start vibrating. Those vibrations are passed on to the cochlea. Inside the cochlea, the vibrations are converted into messages. Okay, that means electric messages. Those messages are passed on to auditory nerve, and the auditory nerve takes it to brain, and the brain interprets the sound. This is the functioning of ear. it is a 5 mark or 3 mark question, a very important question. Either they will give you diagrams and the questions will be asked, otherwise only diagram, label draw a neat label diagram, such questions could be asked. Otherwise they will give you the diagram, ask small questions, or directly explain the structure and functioning of human ear, but it is a very important question of this chapter. Okay, so we are finished with the chapter today. Now we will discuss the numericals. Now we will discuss the solved examples on page number 136. The first question you may see, how long will it take for a sound wave of 25 centimeter wavelength and 1.5 kilohertz frequency to travel a distance of 1.5 kilometer? Now you may see in the question they have given the frequency as 1.5 kilohertz. You have to convert it into hertz. So it will be 1.5 into 10 raised to 3 hertz. Lambda, that is wavelength, they have given as 25 centimeter. Centimeter you have to convert it into meter. So 25 upon 100, it will give you 0.25 meter. Distance is given as 1.5 kilometer, that you have to convert into meter. So it will be 1.5 into 10 raised to 3 meters. What you have to find out? You have to find out time. So in this chapter there are basically two equations. Velocity is equal to distance upon time, distance or displacement upon time, okay, and velocity is equal to wavelength into frequency. Now in the equation velocity is equal to wavelength into frequency, you don't have time, and velocity is equal to distance upon time, okay. So you have to find out time, but you have not been given the velocity, so you will have to find out the velocity first. So V is equal to frequency into wavelength, that will give you 375 meter per second. So the velocity is 375 meter per second. Now you can find out time with the help of equation. Velocity is equal to distance upon time, and you are getting the value as 4 seconds. Okay, you are getting the value as 4 seconds. Next question, example 2. Ultrasonic waves are transmitted downwards into the sea with the help of sonar. The reflected sound is received after 4 seconds. What is the depth of the sea at that place? Velocity of sound in sea water is 1550 meter per second. Okay, so velocity is given as 1550 meter per second. The time for echo, it is going and coming, okay, it is going and coming back. The time taken for that is 4 seconds. So what is the distance for, what is the time taken for only going or only coming? It is 2 seconds, half of that. So to find out depth means the distance, we have to use the equation V is equal to distance upon time. Distance is equal to 3100 meter. This is an important question which is frequently asked. Now the next is, sound waves of wavelength 1 centimeter have a velocity of 340 meter per second in air. What is their frequency? Can this sound be heard by human ear? Okay, you have been given lambda, that is wavelength, as 1 centimeter. You have to convert it into meter, so it is 1 into 10 raised to minus 2. That is 1 upon 100, 1 upon 10 raised to 2, which is equal to 1 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter, and velocity is 340 meter per second. You know velocity, you know wavelength. You have to find out frequency with the help of equation, and you have got the answer as 34,000 hertz. Okay, so what is the frequency of the sound? It is 34,000 hertz. What is the audible range? The audible range is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So as it is more than 20,000 hertz, will we be able to hear this sound? Okay, no, we won't be able to hear the sound as the frequency is more than 20,000 hertz. Okay, so these are the solved examples. Now we will see the examples in the exercise. Now the first numerical from the exercise, the speed of sound in air at 0 degrees Celsius is 332 meter per second. If it increases at the rate of 0.6 meter per second per degree, what will be the temperature when the velocity has increased to 344 meter per second? So the initial velocity is 332 and the final velocity is 344. You have to find out the difference, the temperature at which the velocity will be 344 meter per second. So given the speed of sound in air, initially it is 332 meter per second. Increase in velocity is 0.6 meter per second per degree. Now while calculating difference in velocity, you have to find first the equation is difference in velocity upon the rate of rise in temperature. So it will be 344 minus 332 upon 0.6. So you will get the value as 20 degree Celsius. Now the next one, Neeta heard the sound of lightning after 4 seconds of seeing it. What was the distance of lightning from her? So given velocity of sound in air is 340 meter per second, time is 4 seconds, you have to find the distance with the formula velocity is equal to wavelength upon time. So the wavelength will be velocity into time, that is 340 into 4, that is 1360 meter. This question is a frequently asked question. You may copy. The third question. Sunil is standing between two parallel walls. The wall closest to him is at a distance of 660 meter. If he shouts, he hears the first echo after 4 seconds and another after another 2 seconds. What is the velocity of the sound in air? What is the distance between the two walls? Okay, so there is a person named Sunil who is standing between two walls. One wall is closer to him and one wall is a little bit away from him. The closest wall, this wall, that is distance, they have given it as 660 meter. The time taken to hear an echo from this is given as 4 seconds. So what will be the time one way? It will be 4 upon 2, that is 2 seconds. Okay. Now it is told that another echo. First he hears this echo because this wall is nearer. He hears another echo after 2 seconds after he hears this. Okay. So after 4 seconds he hears the first echo. After 2 seconds after that, that means after 6 seconds he hears the next echo. So the time taken, second time taken will be 3 seconds. Okay. Now you have to find out this distance, the total distance you have to find out. This distance is taken as S1, this distance is taken as S2, and you will have to find out S1 plus S2. So you may see distance of the closest wall is given as 660 meter. Time of echo from the closer wall is 4 seconds. So the time taken for going and coming is 4 seconds. So one way it will be 2 seconds. Time of echo from the distant wall, from this wall it is given as 6 seconds. So T2 will be half of that, that is 3 seconds. To find the velocity of the sound and the distance between the two walls, first you have to find out the velocity with the equation V is equal to distance upon time. That is S1 upon T1, 660 upon 2, that is 330 meter per second. Now we know that the velocity of sound this way also, it will be the same because it is the same temperature. Okay, so the velocity will be the same. Here V1 is equal to V2. So V2 is equal to S2 upon T2, as V1 is equal to, okay, V1 is equal to 330 meter per second. So V2 will also be 330 meter per second. So 330 is equal to S2 upon 3. Therefore S2 is equal to cross multiplication. You are getting it as 990 meter. So this distance is 660. This distance is 990. The complete distance will be 660 plus 990, that is 1650 meter. Okay. Even this is a frequently asked question. You may copy. The next question is, hydrogen gas is filled into identical bottles. Okay, so you have to note the phrase identical bottles, A and B, at the same temperature. Temperature is also the same. The mass of hydrogen in the two bottles is 12 gram and 48 gram respectively. In which bottle will sound travel faster? How many times as fast as the other? Okay, so it depends upon the density of the gas which is present in the bottle. So there are two bottles. In the first bottle A, what is the mass of hydrogen present? It is 12 grams. It is taken as Ma. Mass of hydrogen in bottle B, it is Mb. It is taken as 48 grams. Okay, it is given as 48 grams. Now you have to find in which bottle sound will travel faster. It will depend upon the density. Okay, velocity of sound depends upon density. Now what is the relation between velocity and sound? Okay, velocity and density. It is V is inversely proportional to density, or V is proportional to 1 upon root of rho. You had studied this earlier. Okay, now here we know that rho is equal to mass upon volume. Rho is equal to mass upon volume. Okay, so here the first point is for A. Okay, for bottle A. I'll write bottle A. Okay, for bottle A. For bottle A, V is proportional to V of A. Okay, velocity of A is proportional to 1 upon rho of A. 1 upon rho of A. And what is rho of A? Rho of A is equal to mass of A upon volume. Mass of A upon volume. For volume, I haven't written only V. I have written complete volume to prevent confusion. Okay, so that you get not get confused. So rho of A is equal to Ma upon volume. It has been given that they are two identical bottles. So the volume for both the bottles will be the same. Now substituting this in this equation, you will get it as V of A is equal to 1 upon root of mass of A upon volume. Okay, this will be root of volume. This will go up, isn't it? This will go up. So it will be root of volume upon mass of A. Okay, it will be mass of A. Take this as the first equation. Now for bottle B, we will see for bottle B. For bottle B, V of B is proportional to 1 upon root of, I have forgotten here, root of rho of B. Okay, which, so what is rho of B? Rho of B is M of B upon volume. So what the equation will become? V of B is equal to 1 upon root of M of B upon volume. Okay, I haven't taken volume A and volume 1, volume B, because the volume is the same. They are identical bottles. It has been mentioned in the question. Okay, so this will go up and it will become, this will be equal to root of volume upon M of B. Okay, M of B. Now you have to find out the relation between 1 and 2. Okay, so if we take 1, the first equation upon second equation, first equation upon second equation, that means VA upon VB will be equal to, VA is root of volume upon MA upon root of volume upon MB. Okay, this will be, you can take the reciprocal, that means it will become, this is for you to understand, volume upon MA into root of MB upon volume. You will take the reciprocal. Volume and volume will get cancelled. Therefore, you will get VA upon VB is equal to root of MB upon MA. What is MB? MB is 48. So it will be root of 48 upon 12. So 48 upon 12 is 4. The answer is root of 4. So VA upon VB is equal to root of 4. Therefore, VA upon VB is equal to 2. Therefore, VA is equal to 2 into VB. VA is equal to 2 into VB. So, in which bottle the velocity will be more? In bottle A. How many times? It will be twice as that of in bottle B. You may see in the question on page number 137. The velocity will be more in A. How much? Twice. Okay, you may copy this. Now the last question. Helium gas is filled in two identical bottles A and B. The mass of the gas in two bottles is 10 gram and 40 gram respectively. If the speed of sound is the same in both bottles, what conclusions will you draw? Okay, so they have given two things here. The velocity is the same and they are identical bottles, but the mass is different. Okay, so you may see mass of helium in bottle A is given as 10 grams and mass of helium in bottle B is given as 40 grams. You have to consider two formulae here. V is proportional to 1 upon root of rho, that is density, and V is proportional to root of temperature. Okay, so the temperature hasn't been given. So the temperature, the relation between the temperature, the relation in the temperature between the two bottles has to be found out. So rho is equal to mass upon volume, we know that. So here you may see V is proportional to 1 upon rho and V is proportional to root of T. So combining these two equations, you will get it as, here it is root of rho. So combining, you will get the equations as V is proportional to root of T upon root of rho, which is equal to root of T upon rho. So therefore, VA is proportional to root of TA upon rho A, and V of B is proportional to TB, root of TB upon rho of B. But we know that rho A is equal to M of A upon volume. Okay, we know that. This we know. And rho B is equal to M of B upon volume. Okay, we know this equation. Now by substituting, you will get it as VA. VA is proportional to root of TA upon MA upon volume. Okay, and VB is equal to root of TB upon MB upon volume. Okay, but we know that here V1 is VA is equal to VB. VA is equal to VB. This has been given in the question. So these are equal to each other. Okay, that means this root of TA upon MA upon volume is equal to root of TB upon MB upon volume. This volume and volume will get cancelled. You will get it as root of TA upon MA is equal to root of TB upon MB. Okay, now squaring both sides. You have to square both sides. Squaring both sides, you will get this as TA upon TB is equal to, so TA upon MA is equal to TB upon MB. Now by alternando, you have learnt this in maths. You have learned this in maths algebra. Okay, by alternando, what is the rule? If A is to B is equal, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then A upon C is equal to B upon D. Okay, so here if TA upon MA is equal to TB upon MB, then TA upon TB is equal to MA upon MB. Okay, how much is MA? MA is 10, and how much is MB? MB is 40. Okay, MB is 40. So cancelling, you will get it as 1 upon 4. Therefore, TA upon TB is equal to 1 upon 4. Okay. Therefore, TB is equal to 4 TA. This is the relation. Okay, you may see in the textbook, temperature of B is 4 times the temperature of A. These are the numericals. Okay, we have finished with the numericals. Out of these numericals, especially first one, second one and third one are frequently asked, but in some schools the other two are also asked. Okay, so you may practice these numericals, and if you are having any doubts, go through the textbook, ask doubts if any. Okay, thank you.